Welcome to Championship Chatter. My name is Johnny.
And I'm Jonno.
And let's see what we've got coming up this week.
We'll look back at the week's action.
We've got another rousing game of Johnny versus Jonno.
We'll be discussing Fulham's promotion.
Of course, we've got this week's weekly awards.
And we've got more.
Got a lot to go through. A lot to go through. Some congratulations, some commiserations. And we might as well start with the standout results. We'll go to Friday's game. I picked 3 results from Friday. Start with this one, shall we? Luton 1, Forest 0.
Brilliant result for Luton, who were starting to struggle a little bit. They're not falling off the pace, and they come back with a great result like that against a very, very informed Forest.
I know we've got another Forest score to talk about where they kind of got back on track, but did somebody last week say that Luton would beat Nottingham Forest?
Probably not me.
I think somebody might have said that. Not that it makes any difference. Luton, I think they've solidified their place now in the playoffs. I think they just keep pulling it out of the bag when they need to. I don't think they've got enough about them to catch that second spot now. There's only one team realistically that's going to do that, I think.
I can't see anybody catching that second spot now. I actually think 3 of the playoff places are already took.
Really?
I do, yeah. There's not many games left, and I think it's that 6th spot that's up for grabs for a number of teams.
Well, we'll get onto it later when we're looking at fixtures coming up. But if anybody's going to catch Bournemouth, like you keep saying, it's going to be Forest. But and hammer blowing that was this game. It
was, and it stopped them from even trying to catch him now because they're not going to catch him. And Huddersfield are the team now that can only catch him for me.
But Nottingham Forest are in the same amount of games as Bournemouth.
Yeah, but they're just too far back now.
You think?
Yeah.
You think this one's done?
Yeah, Bournemouth are up. I can't see anybody catching them. Huddersfield by a miracle might do, but yeah.
Bit of a shocker, this one. Peterborough United 2, Blackburn 1, which has really buggered up my prediction for the season of Blackburn going into the playoff final. And yet again, Peterborough United love to fuck up my hackers.
Don't back against Peterborough at the moment. 2 wins on bounce, or is it 3? Might be even 3 wins on bounce. Brilliant for them.
Not happy. Not happy at all. They buggered up 2 of my things in one, my prediction and my hacker.
Serves right for not having faith in them.
Where were Bournemouth going to finish this season?
That's why I don't back them.
Derby 2, Fulham 1. Oh, well done, Derby. Good result, that, mate.
It was a great result for him. Great
result. Oh, amazing. Oh, let's all fucking shit in his hands and clap the. Oh, well done, Derby. You beat Fulham 2-1. Well done. I'm sure that'll be really important for the rest of the season. Anyway, yeah, Derby 2, Fulham 1.
Well done. Good effort.
Good effort, yeah. Fulham are like this. They've been brilliant this season and they've run away with it.
3 results into it against teams you expect them to beat.
Like Sheffield United.
And Coventry. And
it just keeps happening, which I'm sure they're very, very glad that they are now promoted. Because games like that would start to worry them at this stage of the season if they weren't already up. If they weren't already up,
but they had that easy cushion. They weren't getting caught. They knew they weren't getting caught.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have worried them losing against Derby.
Moving on to Monday's results, we talked about Forest losing 1-0 to Luton. They bounced straight back with a 4-0 win against Steve Bruce FC.
They had a lot of help from referee.
They did, but they still scored 4 goals.
They did, and they hammered them, and West Brom didn't help themselves.
They have 1 good game and then 6 shit ones.
Well, that's the Steve Bruce effect.
The Steve Bruce effect. It was just annihilation, really, weren't it? Because you can say, oh, the ref helped them a lot and this, that and the other. West Brom didn't look like they had a goal in them.
No, I think Edge went down after probably 2nd goal.
Yeah.
They never looked like they were going to get back into it. Alright, man sent off as well. Everything was against him. But
when you've got Instagram star like Callum Robinson, meant to be like the heart and soul of your team, cares more about how he looks on fucking social media than he does, like playing well.
That's like 99% of players, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so they go 2-0 down, his head drops, I can't be asked to be here. I want to go and pose in something like on fucking Instagram. You don't get anywhere with a team like that, and Forest aren't a team like that. They're a footballing side.
I don't think Cooper would let him be like that.
No, exactly. I mean, they're massive, and they should go up automatically after what their fans keep saying on social media. And why should Huddersfield be their shit club? And they're like wankers, a lot of them. Apart from Dory's all right, but I can't stand the way the fans are, and I'm starting to go heavy dislike for them, maybe to even Derby levels. But the actual players on the pitch and Steve Cooper himself is Steve Cooper, isn't it? I thought, no, he said Steve Coogan. Yeah, Steve Coogan, in dugout, he's got them playing good stuff. He's got them playing to every ball. He's got them fighting, and he won't let them be social media stars. He wants footballers.
I don't want to play him in playoffs if we did get there.
No, me neither. Another big result. Borough 0, Huddersfield 2. What the fuck?
I don't know. Worst time to have a bad run on in Middlesbrough. Yeah, and you can see frustration in Chris Wilder.
Yeah.
It weren't a very high moment in his career.
No.
Especially that interview after. For very, very childish.
Yeah, very childish.
Yeah.
Spat dummy out a little bit.
He did, yeah.
It does do from time to time.
I know he's not going to be happy, but
no.
And his team's lost.
Get over it.
Yeah.
He did do that with us sometimes. It did used to wind me up. I'm a Chris Wilder lover. I can't thank him enough for what he did for the club. But there were times like that where I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, some of his interviews don't come across good.
I preferred it when he'd come out and say he was shit, he was shit, and he was shit. And he did. In fairness, he does that as well. I don't like it when he pulls excuse bag out. I'd rather him just say we were shit. And he's done that in the past, so I think that's what he should have done in this game.
Definitely.
Blackpool 6, Birmingham City 1.
What's happened to Birmingham?
The wank, that's what's happened to Birmingham. Now, was it last week or the week before we were saying it? Can Birmingham build on what they've got and maybe have a push next season? Because they started well and then drifted off.
They might be facing relegation for next season.
We said that at the beginning of this season.
No, I thought they'd have a good season this season. I really did. First game against United, I thought they played all right.
They're woeful.
And 6-1 away at Blackpool. But then again, how come they get to play at Blackpool on a bank holiday weekend away?
That is a stinker. What we get on a Tuesday night?
Tuesday night? No, Wednesday night.
Guaranteed every time that we're in the same division as Blackpool away is on a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Birmingham fans would have proper had a nice weekend. So
up until
kick-off.
Yeah, up until about 3 p.m. Then it was kind of fooked. So moving on to that, Fulham. Congratulations, Fulham FC. You are promoted to Premier League.
We'll see you in a couple of seasons.
Yeah. Not see you next year. See you year after. They have. I'm not going to sing the praises too much, They have been phenomenal, especially Mitrovic.
They've pissed this league. Absolutely pissed it.
Look at what points they're about 10 points in front. In a usual championship season...
With 4 games left.
Yeah, in a usual championship season, they'd be still fighting for that first position. With the points they're on.
That just shows you...
How weak the We're going to talk about this in a little bit, about how weak the championship's been this season. But fair play to him, when you've got somebody scoring 40 goals, as Mitrovic has... Interestingly, he's also leading their line for yellow cards as well, with 7.
Mitrovic is a dirty player, but who cares when you score 40 goals in a season? Not many can say that.
No. 42 games, 86 points. It is a good haul. Any other season, I still think it wouldn't be over, but it is over now for Fulham. They're promoted. Do you know what I think's done them the world of good? These are players that have played over 31 games in the league for Fulham. Rodak, Ream.
Good luck pronouncing that one.
Adarabiaro.
Very good.
Anton Robinson, of course he was linked with Sheffield United, good bit of business. Kebano, Wilson and Mitro. Mitro's played 40 games.
Shows you the fitness on them is...
Average, so that is a goal a game, he's averaged. Exactly, yeah. Every game he's played in, average-wise, he's scored.
Brilliant.
That's what you want from a striker. You've got Ream, who's played every single league game, in the art of that defence. There's consistency there, and they're all key players then. There were a few players that played 30, 28, 29. There weren't many who just played like 14. Like, if you look at Sheffield United, for instance,
so
there's lots played 10, 12.
Luxury of not their injuries that most teams have had.
Yeah. And these are all starts, by the way. I'm not even including the times they've gone as subs.
It's quite incredible, that.
It does show
that shows you why they're up there.
Yeah.
When they can keep a team that's winning, fit, and playing as well as they have been.
When you don't have a training pitch of doom like Sheffield United do. You know what I mean? It's so important. At times they've not been the best, as it showed in their result on Monday against Derby, as it showed when we played them. If you get them early, their heads can go down. But they've gone up through hard work, a striker on sensational form, and been able to keep a consistent side together. And that shows how deadly important that is. And a lot of teams would wish they could have had players play that many games, especially key players.
I just won't mind any of them players to play a couple of games for us.
Let's have a look at what games they've got remaining. They've got Bournemouth away, Notts Forest at home. I'm going to start calling them Notts because I know it winds them up.
Oh, right.
Notts Forest at home, Luton at home, and then on the last game of the season,
Them Blades.
I don't know how to feel about that one because
Let's hopefully bleeding their players are pissed up and hungover when they play us.
like when we played
Stoke.
like when we played Stoke, and technically we couldn't have won the league because Norwich won. But at one stage we were still in there, but all players are still running around like, I can't move. I'm done. We celebrated a bit too hard, maybe. It's only right, isn't it? We've had them on recently, but we'll go to them again. Since Fulham have got promoted, here's the Fulham fans.
So if I'm being brutally honest, I think the main reason that Fulham have been promoted, now that's all been confirmed, has been pretty much certain for months now, probably since December. But now it's been promoted, I think really the main reason has to go down to, it's going to be obvious, it's going to be sort of somewhat cliche, but it is down to the manager and the players. I think we've just found the perfect match, perfect combination of the two. We saw the struggles last year with Scott Parker. You just tell that the players weren't quite there for the system he wanted. That's why Mitrovic was, taken out of the team. But now we have found a manager in Marco Silva that gets the best out of his players. Mitrovic being the prime example, but also Harry Wilson and other attacking players, even defensively. Everyone is just clicking perfectly. We've struggled the past couple of weeks, but I think that's probably like a mentality. Maybe arrogance sort of issue. I think knowing the job was more or less done. I think that we've sort of taken our foot off the gas, as it were. But I think overall it's just a perfect combination. What that's going to mean in the Premier League, still don't know. There's bound to be some changes. With personnel, we've got a number of players leaving. Cabano and Serio, I think, are in the midst of their contract. We may get some money for Anguissa. For instance, Tim Ream is out of contract, I believe. Whether or not he's going to be around, whether or not he wants to be around, whether or not he can perform with them. There's going to be lots of changes, but I'm sort of feeling confident about that. In regards to who's coming up with us, I think Bournemouth have probably got second place sewed up. I know it's sort of tetchy at that spot, but I think with Scott Parker, he's got enough in him to know how to get teams over the line. Especially from when he was with us last season. I think also the players that Bournemouth have, there should be enough to get them over the line. In terms of the playoffs, I honestly it is, again, it's going to be cliche, but it is far too close to call. And there are just so many decent teams. But right now, and things can obviously change. One result can drop a team a couple of places and lift a team a couple of places. But I just think with the way they have played recently and the way they've sort of played throughout the whole season whilst he's been there, I think that it will be Nottingham Forest. I think Steve Cooper has been unlucky the past couple of years at Swansea, but now that he's got a decent team together with a lot of championship players, he's got a lot more control, because we know the financial situation at Swansea and how they've had to sell their big players and so on. I think now he's got a side in Nottingham Forest that can really do something and are doing something. So I think, again, at this moment, I would say Nottingham Forest. With regards to Mitrovic, I still think, whilst his job has been done, but he's got us up. But I do think with that goal record, whether or not you see it as Tony's record, if you see it as Whittingham's goal record, he wants to get both of them just to sort of clear the books either way. He's got Tony's. If you get Whittingham, then that sort of ends the debate. So I don't think he's going to be rested. I think he will be looking for that record for between now and the end of the season, so he can sign off the championship style, and we can sign off the championship in style, as it were. And speaking of signing off for the championship, I would say sayonara, goodbye. I will not miss your refereeing. I'm looking forward to VAR so we can get something competent next year, and hopefully we'll be there. Hopefully. I probably said this last time. I probably said this the time before that. But hopefully, I won't have to. I won't be dealing with highlights on Quest anymore. It'll be good on Match of the Day, and just hopefully be settled in to be a nice Premier League team for a while at least. Championship, you will not be missed.
It's time for Johnny versus
Jonno.
This week's subject, I've done Jonno dirty here because he has to think of 2 reasons for it.
Only 2. I'll come up with 3 actually.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah.
I said 2 in the message.
Yeah, I know. I was just used to the 3.
Yeah, we lowered it down. We rambled on a bit too much last time.
I'll just cross one out.
Cross out your least important one. We're going to be talking about the sign plague. Do you know for those that don't know what I mean by the sign plague, every game now, there seems to be 4 or 5 fucking kids at the front with signs like, ex-player here, can I have your shirt? Fuck off. Just go away. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
They're not asking for your shirt.
I don't care. It's so plastic. It's so shit. It's what you get at franchises. American franchises, baseball, NFL. I hate it. At Old Trafford, you can kind of... I hate it, but you can kind of understand it because 90% of them aren't even from Manchester. I've seen it at Bramall Lane. I've seen it at Sheffield United away games. I've seen it at Fulham from their home fans. I've seen Borough fans doing it. Fucking Derby fans doing it. Fucking why? Well, maybe Tom Lawrence says he can sell it when he plays for a good team next year. But, you know, I hate it. I despise it. And that's my first reason. It's so plastic. It's not what real fans do. And a lot of parents force their kids to do it.
Well, you can tell that because it's definitely a grown-up's writing.
Yeah. They've not gone, Daddy, help me write this. The dad wants the shirt and thinks, I'll get a free shirt from my son. This sign plague needs to stop. It's plastic, it's cheap, it's not conducive to real fans. And people like that are the type of fans that are getting let into stadiums that are hurting atmospheres. And that's my first point, and that should be enough. Go on, Jonno, what you got for it?
For it is, they might get a shirt. It just adds to that atmosphere for kids. If they want to write a sign, I'm not saying if they're forced by parents, I think that is a bit sad. But if a kid wants to write a sign, try and get somebody's shirt. And if their hopes are getting a shirt and they're writing their little sign and they get a shirt off their favourite player, that is going to make them a fan for life. And to be well done if you do get one. Ignore what he says. If that wants to write a sign, you write a sign. Make sure it says Johnny is a twat.
I'd prefer that to please don't have your shirt. Second point.
Shall I go first?
Yeah, you go first, actually. Go on.
It will help with the interaction of players and fans as well. If a player goes up to a little kid and passes them the shirt, it's just that bond. It's just brilliant to see. Reading, when they beat United last week, Friday, all their players went over to their fans, chucked the shirts in, and were
there any signs? No, they just threw the shirts in.
They might have been.
They weren't.
They won at back, that's why they threw it.
There weren't no signs. There weren't any.
But if there were signs, that would have got one, wouldn't it? Instead of them throwing it into nowhere, the person with the sign would have got one.
Rather than throw it into nowhere.
Because
then you get a bit of a mosh pit effect.
And they absolutely loved it. Fans loved it for Reading, and well done to them. There were good celebrations.
Second point is, these kids that do this kind of thing aren't proper fans, and they're getting the shirts. And the real fans, the real kids who are already in love with United, who wouldn't dream of bringing a sign, because they're real fans and they understand it's fucking awful, they don't get the shirt because the little bastard with the sign gets it. I'd give the shirt if I was a player. If I saw a kid with a sign saying, can I have your shirt, I'd give it to the kid next to him who hasn't got a shirt, just to spite him.
That's harsh. I was quite thinking, it's bad for me thinking of good things, but I'm against you on this one. I think they're out of order.
I don't care. Let us know down below, comments. Let us know on the app, let us know on social media, at Pitch Football on Instagram and on Twitter. Who wins Johnny v Jonno this week? Are you for the sign plague or against it? Let us know your reasonings. Let us know. It's always good to have this little debate. It's fucking awful.
So anyway, we've had the celebrations for Fulham. Derby, unfortunately, have been relegated to League One. Johnny, what do you think about that?
Fucking devastated. Fuck off! I'm really sad to see Derby go. I'm devastated. At least they'll still get a derby with Forest next season. Forest Green. All that bitching about the EFL and all this moaning and we'd be up there and we'd fight and we're heroes and fuck off. Get in League One, get in the bin with your drum, with your fans, never come back. AFC Derby, can't wait to see them in fucking Evo Stick Premier. Step 1 complete, Derby at the Championship, fuck off. How do you feel about it?
Well, kind of gutted for you. You fought till end. It was a good fight. I don't think he'll be in League One long.
Now they'll be in League Two.
They will bounce back. And then they'll be finishing us in playoff final in a couple of seasons.
Probably.
Just to piss the off even more.
Probably. Don't care. I'm living in the moment now. I don't live in the past or the future. I live in the moment. So, yeah, as we said, Derby relegated. Lovely. I did write some Derby stats, actually. So, what does that stat there say?
Ha, 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 ha.
And who's their leading scorer? Who cares? Who's their most ever-present players? Who cares? They finished on 31 points after a minus 21 points deduction. And we were told that would really affect the division. They'd be fighting for playoffs if they didn't have the points deduction. And if they didn't have the points deduction, they'd be 17th on 52 points. Fucking glory.
Championship, though.
Glory, glory, Derby County. You know what I mean? Fucking brilliant shit. Fuck off. Next!
Is that relegation over then? Or is a miraculous going to be from Peterborough?
This is one thing I would debate. Barnsley are fucked.
Oh yeah.
I did have them as the team that I thought maybe could have sneaked it up. Reading beat us, fair play to them. I don't like losing. But
What a comeback against Swansea.
yeah,
It's the same family.
they're fighting for it. So I think that's what's going to sink Peterborough more than Peterborough themselves.
Too much of a climb, no chance, unfortunately.
If-
They gave it a good fight, but it's just not.
If they had
Too
been
late.
if they had been so woeful at the beginning of the season, maybe they could have had a fighting chance now. But now it's just too late, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately. Traffic Peterborough could be one of them player teams that are going to lose the best players and find it hard to bounce straight back.
Yeah, Peterborough's not a yo-yo club. They've come, they've had a good dig. I mean, Milton Keynes would be the team that you thought would be the yo-yo club between League One and Championship. And ever since they came down from Championship, they never seem to have been, have they?
No, well, you never know, they might be up next season.
Yeah, but it's been a while since they were last year,
yeah.
is what I'm getting at. They're not going to be like a Fulham in the Premier League or... there's certain clubs at League One and the Championship. Millwall seems to be one of them. They either have a really good season or they fuck off that. Barnsley, prime example. Barnsley, Rotherham, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, all the time. I don't see that happening for Peterborough, unfortunately. Which is a shame. I'm not going to say a soft spot, because I don't. But I have an affinity for teams like Peterborough. They stay true to what they are. They celebrate what they are.
An old school team.
Yeah, the ground, they've done it up with some love. It's still old, it's still creaky, but they've got nice statues there. They've made it as modern as they can in the fan areas for certain parts of the ground. They've got to do it everywhere except for the money. But they've stayed true to what they are. They're not moving to a fucking ridiculous new stadium because they know they want to get the fans. They want to keep the charm. They can't afford it. As posh as they are. But fair play to Peterborough. They're giving it a fight now. It's just a bit too little, too late. I want to touch on this because we said this about Fulham and where they are in the division. I still think they'll be fighting for that first spot, if not for this point. Is this the weakest championship in a good few years? Because I think it is.
It's definitely one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not being biased, but I just think the season we got promoted, there were so many decent teams in the league, weren't there?
Yeah.
And a lot of them obviously stayed up in Premier League and we hadn't, obviously.
Yeah. We were fighting more towards 90 odd points, two teams on 90 odd points, and then there was a gap between the next one down of like 4 points. And then the playoffs were pretty much set 6 weeks ago from where we are now, weren't they?
Yeah.
We knew we were going to be there, and the rest of the team were just not fodder. They were always going to gear a game, but they were those strong standout teams. Whereas there's no strong standout team. Fulham, but they've not been as good as teams that have gone up.
I mean, you look at teams like Bournemouth, I think they're beatable.
Yeah. Well, Fulham have scored. Mitrovic has got 40 goals for Fulham, right? I still think they finished 5th in the division we went up in.
As low as that?
As low as that. I don't see him getting as many goals as he's got in this division as the one we went up in. I don't see it happening. There's been too many times where he's just run riot on teams that just can't cope with him, and that's because the championship is looking so weak. And look at us, under Slav, we were near the bottom of the table, thinking, fucking hell, we're going back to League One, and I'm going back to the Premier League. And look where we are now, we're fighting for playoffs.
Same team.
Middlesbrough, under Warnock. Chris Wilder comes in halfway through the season and fucking rejuvenates them, they go flying up.
Do you think the jump now to the Premier League is too high for most clubs to take?
It all depends on how the club's managed. Look at us, we did brilliantly, Leeds did brilliantly. COVID fucked us up as long as we're losing key players.
Brentford's done really well.
Yeah.
Will they have a struggling season next season?
It's the financial aspects. People say, oh, it's second season syndrome. And it's not, it's finances. You can come up and carry that momentum and have key players, but they don't have the money They're buying depth.
They can have the transfer fee. That's not problems for them.
It's
the wages that they struggle with because it's so long, a 4-year contract on tens of thousands a week. It's a lot of money.
And then when you come to it, you can't take that gamble and bring in that depth because unless you're an established top 10 side in the Premier League, or even maybe mid-table, and you've been there for 4 or 5 years, you run the risk of if you thicken the squad to a level where you can compete, you have a tragic season go down, and then you've got to fight with FFP.
Exactly.
So that's what's hindering it. There's no FFP in the Premier League. Put it in the Premier League, and it'll give teams more of a fighting chance.
Oh, Man City, the buggered one, they were there every news.
Well, look that season we finished in top 10 of the Premier League, Sheffield United. Man City were on about being kicked out of the Champions League because that just shows it. It's just frustrating that those levels are there where you go to the Premier League and it's like rich man's world. We're not rich until you've been there for 3 years. So if you're your team like Norwich, you can't risk that FFP punishment when you come back down because you're going to like Derby.
I think that's why Norwich don't spend anything, do they?
Yeah.
I bet.
They're spending enough.
They're happy going up and down, aren't they?
Yeah, they spend enough, don't they?
No. The season we got promoted with them, I think they spent about £1 million on transfers.
On transfers, but look what they've done infrastructure-wise. That's where they're spending the money. That's where Brentford spend their money.
Which is fair enough if they don't mind being that yo-yo team, but if they want to cement a place in Premier League, you've got to spend a lot of money and you need big backing.
I think if you get the right infrastructure and build and yo-yo for 2-3 years, that pays for your transfers further down the line. Whereas Sheffield United, we go up and then we don't come back up again for fucking like a decade. So we never improve infrastructure. We end up with a cursed fucking training pitch. Clubs that come down, there's clubs that go the other way and throw money at a situation. Leeds this season, that's it, Leeds are back and blah, blah, blah. I think if it were another COVID season with no fans, Leeds would be fucking near rock bottom of the league like we were.
I could see that, to be honest with you. They've had a bad season and...
They had their first season. People paid Bielsa too much respect, I think.
Couldn't even learn English.
The way they played, I don't think it's like people bummed off Wilder. It were new, it were a novelty, but we've been playing like that for fucking years. Bielsa's always played the same for 20 years. So it's not like it were hard to figure out 3 years versus 20 years. But people raved about it as though it was something new. It plays similar to Pep, apart from he fucking overtrains them a bit more and knackers them out. And that's why they struggle at end of seasons. So it weren't like it were hard to suss out. And now the teams have done it, and that's why Bielsa's gone. Imagine that with no fans. They'd have been rock bottom.
They'd be struggling.
Bringing back to my point is now, they've got to have a gamble if they stay up next season. Because they've got FFP to worry about if they have another bad season.
I think Fulham would have done if they didn't go up this season, wouldn't
they? Yeah, 100%.
They really would have.
Yeah, they took a gamble.
Yeah.
And it was lucky for them that it paid off. Bournemouth, if they somehow don't go up,
they could be struggling. So it's a gamble, but it's paid in art if it's successes.
Put FFP in the Premier League, you'll get a stronger championship. That is my view on it anyway. Which moves us on to this week's weekly awards. Jonno, for your result of the week, what have you gone for?
I've gone for Bournemouth's victory away at Coventry.
It's not a bad shout. Go ahead, explain your reasonings.
They were wobbling. I don't think they scored a goal.
And when they came to Bramall Lane, they got a 0-0. I thought they were shit.
They were. There were nothing
shit.
impressive about them at all. But they're up there for a reason, and
their gaffer comes out. I think we controlled large portions of the game. When?
No, they didn't.
The bloke, I've given him star and div of the week this season. He's very inconsistent, and that shows in his team. It reflects perfectly. My result of the week, I've gone for Forest 4, West Brom 0. Don't like picking Forest for this because I said I'm falling deeply out of love with Nottingham Forest after their fans' comments.
It was a minority.
Fuck them. But anyway, what I've also said is I'm still a big fan of Cooper Ball. What they're doing is brilliant. After that little blip against Luton, they've come back
and bounce back
and scored 4.
Really good, yep.
That's how you bounce back. You stick 4 in at home against a team that were expected to go up. It's just how you do it. Shock of the week, what are you going for?
Gone for Reading's result away Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Fair play to them. End of the match, scenes from the players and fans showed you how much it meant to little old Reading. And I do give them a bit of stick, saying they're a bit of a tin pot club and not many supporters, but you could just see passion in it, and I thought it was nice to see. I saw it on television because I left 10 minutes earlier. I goal and their goal because it was one of the best games I'd seen watching United.
They fought for everything, so fair play to them. I'm not going to take away the win by saying, oh, we were just shit. We were shit. We were wank that day. But they still had to turn up.
They made us look shit.
Yeah, at times they did. I was working away, but from what I got back for like the last 15 minutes of the first half, and I wish I'd not bothered.
No, it weren't pretty at all.
It were a perfect combination of they were so up for it, and they played some decent football, and we were well and truly off it. And those two things clashed together and gave Reading a very, very, very important win towards guaranteeing safety. Fair play, Reading. The fans that do go to Reading games are generally quite passionate because they've been there through highs and some very bad
Well, you
lows.
could tell that, and fair play to them, well done. And probably that result has kept you safe.
I used to hate Reading.
I did. I don't know why though.
Kevin Doyle that time. Remember when Paddy Kenny, when he got basically chinned and we should have a penalty at them when we were fighting with them for first and second under Warner.
Yes,
that
I remember
season.
now. Yeah.
But now I've got over it now. I'll never get over Derby. Might get over Forest, but not Derby. But yeah, fair play to him. But my shock of the week is Blackpool 6, Brum 1.
It's not a shock that they won.
No, but
It's
6
just by the margin into it's Blackpool scoring 6. Birmingham just
a team with Gary
atrocious.
Medine scored 6 goals. Where's that come from? It's just simply that is, unless you've predicted the correct score and put a tenner on that, in which case I want the lottery numbers for this week as well. Nobody thought that were coming.
No.
1-0, 2-0 maybe.
Definitely not.
I thought if Birmingham scored it were a 1-0. And I never saw them getting 3-6. Absolutely ridiculous.
I had them to win in my acca,
I had them to win, just 6.
but just not by 6.
Star of the week, who are we going for?
Mitrovic on his 40 goals for the season, and probably will get more. What a player.
Yeah.
Brilliant for Championship. I hope he does it in Premier League next season.
I've gone for the same player, Mitrovic.
You've got to.
Yeah,
It's a
bagged
great
his 40th,
achievement. That is.
40th goal at season, and as he said, he will get more. He's played nearly every game for him. Seasons in the Premier League, I don't know what happens to him. Does he get like headaches or something as soon as he gets to the Premier League? Because he don't play that many games.
Well, probably can't hack it against better defenders.
More physical defenders, do you think that's what it is?
Yeah,
Everything's Championship's a physical league.
He's had chances in Premier League before and he's not. So you never know, he might do this time. I hope he does.
Give him the chances next season. I think he bags you 10, 12 goals, which is a good rate. It's better than his
Premier
previous
League
seasons.
for a promoted team, I'll take that.
Yeah. Give him 40 games next season, he bags 10 or 12 goals. Consistent running team. It could be a season to show that he maybe can hack it.
Just that there's 38 games in Premier League, so you can't afford to.
No, fuck off, John. Let's go to Div of the Week.
I've gone for Chris Wilder, just his interview after his match. Just childness, just
It's
proper got face on, didn't he? And just, oh, well, I'm not talking to him. Well, you don't ask me that, you don't need to ask me that. Just, he's doing his job. Let him ask you questions, stop being a div.
Yeah, I do think that Wilder has that side to him. He's not perfect, I love him. A lot of people think that because I'm not a big fan of our owner, that I'm so far up Wilder's arse and he can get away with anything and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not the case at all. Wilder has his moments where I dislike what he does. Brilliant manager. Love it when he's honest. He spat dummy out on this one.
Just cringy, innit?
Yeah, it were. I wouldn't have been happy if he'd have done that when I were our gaffer.
No.
And at times he's done stuff similar and I wasn't happy. I've not gone for Chris Wilder. I've gone for Lee Bowyer at Birmingham.
Ooh, I don't think he'll be at Birmingham for much longer.
No, and that's exactly why. You don't lose 6-1 to Blackpool and not get Div of the Week. It's just, what is he doing? You can blame the board as much as you want, and he hasn't had this and he hasn't had that. If you can't line your team up to not concede 6 goals with some of the players they've got, I know they're not world beaters, but they're not in danger of going down. They're not in danger of going down. They're a mid-table team. You don't go and lose 6-1.
And it's not fans travelling to watch that as well.
No, not at all. Absolute disgrace, really. And he just earns Div of the Week outright for that. This brings us on to another edition of Foreplay.
Everybody loves a bit of foreplay.
Oh, they do. If you've never played Foreplay before, get on the Pitch Football app. You can download it. The details will come on screen now. All you do is you pick 4 Premier League fixtures. Pick who you think will win, or whether it'll be a draw. And you can earn some prizes. Get on the leaderboard. At the end of the season, there'll be a prize for whoever's top of the leaderboard. And I think there's weekly prizes as well. If I'm not, editor, put some little message there and tell me I'm wrong.
Bit of advice, whatever I pick, just go the opposite, because I'm useless.
We drew this week, didn't we?
I'm still atrocious at times. I thought Southampton had beat Chelsea the other week and got hammered 6-0.
Yeah, I did think that were a bit of a poor choice, to be fair. So we've picked 4 Premier League games, 2 from the Saturday, 2 from the Sunday, and we're going to say what we think is going to happen. And play along, let us know in the comments if you think we're wrong, let us know on social media if you think we're wrong. There'll be a graphic that goes out like it does every week. The most important thing is download the app and play along. See if you can pick the same games and beat our predictions.
See if you can beat Johnny and Jonno.
See if you can beat Johnny and Jonno. First game, Arsenal v Man U.
Going for a draw.
Going for a draw. Did you watch Man U last night?
I bet it, yes.
They were fucking awful.
Well,
so are
what do you
Arsenal.
expect from Man United?
So are Arsenal at the minute. They've lost 4 in 5.
Yeah, but then they can pull out a rate performance against certain clubs and...
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say 0-0. A big draw.
0-0.
Ball draw. Next game after that, Brentford v Spurs. It's a London derby, but it's not because I don't think Spurs get 2 shares.
Spurs, absolutely. Right. Do double over City. Pull off some great results and then lose to Burnley and Brighton. So against them lower teams, they're not as good. So I'm going for a Brentford win.
Brentford win?
Brentford. Well, I did tell Brentford go opposite to what I said.
Oh, you left me in a predicament. Because now you've said I can see a Brentford win.
Oh.
But I'm not going to go there. I'm going to say it's going to be another draw. Another draw. I'm going 2-2 draws. I can't do all the John McCruick stuff. Brings us on to Sunday's games. This is a proper London derby, not like Brentford v Spurs.
Nice, friendly Chelsea versus West Ham.
Yeah. Always calm these games. Nothing much ever happens in Chelsea v West Ham, does it?
Nah.
No. How are you going for it?
A Chelsea win.
Chelsea win.
I just think bigger games like this, Chelsea will just come out on top.
I hate to say this, and it hurts me inside to say it. West Ham are going to win.
Ooh.
They're going to win 1-0.
Yeah, they're focusing too much on European at the moment.
I think they're going to be well up for this game. I don't think Declan Rice is worth £200 million. I think he's a good player. I think he's worth 50 max.
I think he's overrated.
I think he's overrated as well. But he's the kind of player who gets up for games like this. And I can see him being a pain in the arse for Chelsea in this game.
We'll see. It's a tasty match.
Chelsea don't like them players who are... He has got a good engine, Declan Rice. He's a good player. He's not a bad player. He's overrated. He's nowhere near your Lampards. He's nowhere even near your Gerrards. And you know I don't rate Gerrard as highly as fucking Sky Sports rate him. Very good player, not to the levels that they think he is. He's not a Frank Lampard, he's not a Paul Scholes, he's not even in that bracket for me. But he's an exceptionally good player, he's got a good engine. And Chelsea have another good engine in N'Golo Conte. I think it's going to be a clash, and I think that Rice will win the physical battle in the middle of the park, and that's going to lead to them being able to hold Chelsea at bay and hit them on the counter for a 1-0.
It's a lot of in-depth thought, that, isn't there?
What's going to happen now if Chelsea's going to win 5-0? On to another derby. Liverpool versus relegation-threatened Everton.
There's your side derby.
Could Liverpool send Everton down?
Possibly. But I'm going for an Everton hammering. Liverpool hammering. There's only one result in that, and that's Liverpool winning.
Oh, could be controversial.
Nah, you're just going to be that just to be a twat. There's no other result happening. I don't care if it's a derby or not. Liverpool are far superior, and they will love the chance to send Everton down.
I think Everton's going to win. I've even put a bet on it, Jonno.
Shut up.
I put £5 free bet on it.
And it won't be your money.
No, I won't put £5 of my own money on it. Fuck that. I don't know why. You know when you just get a strange feeling about a game where all logic and sense leaves your head?
I have a strange feeling about you at the moment.
Have you just never looked at a game and think, I don't know why, but that team's
I do,
going to win.
and it never happens.
Everton are going to win. Everton are going to win.
You heard it here first.
I'm going to pick Everton. Yes, I know I'm foolish. I know I am stupid, especially in this moment of time. I've got a funny feeling Everton will win. That concludes foreplay. Let us know your predictions in the comments, on the app. Go on the app and have a game yourself. Pick the same games, see if you can beat us. If you do, let us know in social media and tell me how stupid I am for picking Everton. Let's look at the standout fixtures we've got coming up this week. On Friday night, we have Huddersfield versus Barnsley.
I think it's a non-game. To be honest
A non-game?
A non-game. Barnsley are down. Huddersfield are already.
Are they guaranteed to be down, Barnsley?
Mathematically, no, but yeah.
No, but yeah, but no, but yeah.
Yeah, they're down.
They're Catherine Tate.
They're down.
I think Barnsley, any other season, like we're still in it, we can still fight, but I agree with you, it's going to be a non-game. Barnsley's heads are already gone, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, losing to Peterborough weekend.
Yeah.
It's just now.
There's certain games that's really,
I looked at their
really
last
done them.
remaining features, and that was the only one I could see them getting
Fixtures.
a result from. Leave my fixtures alone. Fixtures.
Yeah, Huddersfield 2, Barnsley 0, I'm saying. It's one of them games. This is... In one sense, if Huddersfield have got any chance of catching Bournemouth, they've got to win games like this heavily and hope that Bournemouth catch up and maybe sneak in on goal difference. And if that's going to be the case, you need to be winning games like this 3 or 4-0. So Huddersfield would bang up for it.
Yep, and I can only see a 3 or 4 victory as well.
So that's a Friday night. Moving on to the Saturday, 3 more games that I've picked out. Peterborough versus Nottingham Forest. You've got Nottingham Forest that are fighting for second, fighting to get as high in the table as they can. Just beat West Brom 4-0 after their blip against a Peterborough side that for some reason have decided the end of the season is the time to start fucking playing football and fighting. Is the unthinkable going to happen? Are Posh going to put the stumbling block in Forest's push?
Nope. Similar to Barnsley, Huddersfield, Forest will settle for the playoffs at the moment. Peterborough, unfortunately, are down.
Fair dues. The mighty Birmingham take on Millwall.
Now, this one's a tasty one for Millwall.
It is.
Looking at their remaining fixtures.
Fixtures.
Is they've got Birmingham and then they've got Peterborough.
Yeah.
Win them 2, then they've got Bournemouth last game at season.
And we've got Fulham.
And
we're the team we're the team they're chasing. Millwall do this every fucking year. They have a late fight for playoffs.
They do, but
this is looking like the year they could fucking sneak in.
Don't forget Middlesbrough, where if they win their game in hand, would go above Millwall anyway. So they've still got to catch Middlesbrough, who have got Swansea, Cardiff, Stoke, and Preston left.
But the way Borough
that is not. I know the way Borough's playing at the moment.
They don't have the legs.
It's not a bad running.
They don't we don't have a striker. They don't have the legs. I don't think they've got the legs left. They haven't got the depth in that squad to challenge. I think they're going to struggle against both Welsh clubs, Stoke and Preston. I just think they're going to struggle. I really do. I think it's between us and Millwall for that last spot, and I see Millwall going it. I do.
You can't rule out Blackburn and QPR.
No, you can't.
Blackburn. Look at theirs. Preston, Bournemouth and Birmingham.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to have that one tricky game. QPR, Stoke, Sheffield United could be an absolute massive game.
Yeah.
And then Swansea for their last game at season. It's anybody's spot. It's just that last spot, I think, it's up for grabs.
I think Millwall fancy it. I think they're the team that fancies it. And for that reason, I see them going out and making Brum look even worse than Blackburn.
Well, Birmingham's got a point to prove, haven't they? They can't afford another loss, especially all managers out.
But the Wall, they sometimes don't have shots on goal in a game. They can be as toothless as any club at times. When they beat us, what did they have? One shot? And scored it?
That's all it takes.
I know, and we've got no strikers. Blackburn are so inconsistent. Borough are so inconsistent. Millwall will fancy this, but if they're going to take it, they have to take games like the Brum game and go at them.
They're the team in form.
Yeah, they need to go at this game and they need to give it everything.
If they do get into that 6th spot, watch them, because a team going into form like that would cause an upset, regardless of the game playoffs.
Exactly. This is why people are worrying about Forest.
Yeah.
Bournemouth versus Fulham, first v second. Fulham will want to fucking put on Lord Mayor's parade.
Yeah.
They'll want to go out and they'll want to put on a show, especially playing their closest rival.
They might not really care anymore because they're already up and it's time to chill out. Already on holiday mode. I know they've still got to win league.
Yeah, theoretically, they still might not win. They are going to. Let's be fair, they are going to. But Bournemouth will want to fucking put all these struggles behind them. And they're going to want to fight for it. So I think Fulham will go into this. I don't think they'll have hit the beer just yet. This is an important game for the playoffs and everybody around chasing.
I think
Bournemouth.
it'll end up in a draw, to be honest with you.
Seen a draw?
Yeah.
Fulham 3-0. Fulham 3-0. I think
Bournemouth will start panicking again.
Exactly. That's the thing. Fulham put on a show. They get an early goal.
Even if
Bournemouth
Fulham win, Bournemouth are still up.
Yeah. That wraps it up for us, Jonno. That about wraps it up.
Another week of Championship chatter.
I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, leave a comment, like the video on YouTube, download the app if you've not done already. If you're watching this on the app, go play 4Play, have a look at some of the other brilliant content they've got on there. It's just got lots of lovely content, including our lovely faces every other week. We're coming to the end of the Championship season now. I will miss this show. for the pre-season, because I don't think there's any danger of us being in Premiership next season. So this isn't goodbye. We've still got some more shows to do. But if you have enjoyed it, please give it your support so we can renew.
Cheers.
Ta-da.